when you're an initial wife, when you're a subsequent wife, when there's 3, 4 wives, you have to, when we say, oh, you got to meet people where they are. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Everybody's not ready for you to just dump everything in their lap and say, now you deal with it. This is my story. Yours doesn't matter. You shut up. Here's what happened to me. Have ups and downs, and we're not designed to stay happy all the time. We all have challenges. It's about being responsive versus reactive, and we've talked about this a lot. OPR talks about this a lot, and we talk about minding your marriage a lot because it's important. We're not just sitting here saying this stuff for decoration. People always ask, well, how do you get to hear it? How do you do it? How do you do it? I'm telling you how it can be done and be successful. It's about controlling what you can and what you can't. You can't.
And it took time. Okay, see, for those who don't know, I mean, this is we're going to chapter 12. So it wasn't always, what you see in front of you. We'll say that it wasn't always what you see in front of you. Now, my co-wife and I, we were always cordial. That was not an issue, not a thing, not a question.
That was the easy part. That was the easiest thing I've ever done.
So the thing is that, like my co-wife said before, what do you want? What do you want it to look like? And the thing is, and then another thing, you see us, like a lot of times, even if you're watching our videos on YouTube and everything, you do see the three of us a lot. You see, you see us and our husband, or you see us individually, but when you think of OPR, or you think of, you see three, that's what you think, unless you see some of the videos that sprinkle on of the kids. Yeah. It's like 12 deep of them, so it's not even about, it's not just about us. It's not just about, our growth and everything like that. It's actually being intentional. We're saying, what does that look like for our future generations? What is, what are we doing in our marriage, within our marriages that are going to, because the children are watching. They're watching.
Like you wouldn't believe.
And they're affected or infected however we, whatever we provide for them. So if we're providing toxicity, they're going to be affected by that. If we're providing positivity, in showing them that, even though there are challenges, you can grow through those challenges, and you don't have to know everything right then and there. As long as, what is one of the things they say, it's okay to be ignorant at first if it's your goal to be intelligent over time. So when it comes down to it, we're ignorant on a lot of things. Even when it came to polygyny, it's like, okay, how do you do this? How does this work? Wait a minute, what are the rights? How do you transition? Should you transition? Should you and your co-wife be friends? Should you not be? All these different things. We didn't have the practicals, of, this is what it's supposed to look like. These are the steps you should take. This is how you build and connect and build bonds between your co-wife or your bonus children, if you have any, or how you mind your marriage, how you don't compare, those things weren't there.
We'd like to interrupt this video to let you guys know to make sure you are registered for the Women's Polygyny Masterclass. Yes, it's our 4-part Polygyny Masterclass with your coaches, Coach Nyla
and Coach Fatima.
And we are going to talk about different things in preparing and thriving and growing in polygyny.
Yeah, and your co-wife connection. Everybody asks us, so we're going to go there. We're going to talk about all those things. We really hope you guys join us.
So make sure you click the link in the description and don't forget to register. We'll see you soon. I'll let you get back to the video.
Those things weren't there. If they were hard to find. We'll just say that. If they were there, they were hard to find. So when it comes down to it, we had to go through the growth and the learning and the finding out this and searching for that and implementing it in our lives to the point where we said, okay, this is where we grew from. And then we're hearing people, we became, I guess we said, a reluctant heroes, where people say, how did you do this? Well, you're doing this, but I remember it was like this. How did this change? So then it's like, okay, do we just keep to ourselves and try to continue to change on our growth journey because we're always growing if we want success? Or do we say, you know what? Let's help other people too, at least from where we are right now, at least we can help them so their learning curve is shortened, or that they're not going through the bumps and bruises that we went through to get to where we are today. So yeah, it's been a journey, it's been an amazing journey, but it's only that way when you see the growth, when you are intentional with the growth and you say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. This is, my wonderful coach, she made a comment before where she said, I have to make the decision, where I'm like, this is what I want my life to look like, and I'm not going to stand in my way anymore. I did the same thing, and I still do. There's times when I have to give myself this positive self-talk. Coach Nyla have to come out on me sometimes, on just regular Nyla, on a number of times where it's like, okay, why do you feel this way? Why are you thinking this way? Why do you jealousy, tinge come through, and everything like, okay, girl, you need to get over this, or you need to work through this. It's like, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Like, we're human. So we have our good days and our crazy days and our bad moments and these different things like that, where we are not at our best at all times.
Shaitan is, you don't get tired.
So you guys see this in front of you, and of course, even behind the scenes, excuse me, it's still great, it's still beautiful because it's that growth that's there. And once you stretch and when you grow, you can't go back to where you were. It's like once that rubber band stretches and everything, it doesn't go back to where it used to be. So we know how to go through challenges. We know how to go through things, but it did take learning it. It did take trial and error. It did take, what we say, courageous communication, in order to do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And sometimes it's good to just have a slow, consistent drip versus just letting the floodgates open, because sometimes people are just not ready for what's going to come out of your mouth. And when you're an initial wife, when you're a subsequent wife, when there's 3, 4 wives, you have to, when we say, oh, you got to meet people where they are. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Everybody's not ready for you to just dump everything in their lap and say, now you deal with it. This is my story. Yours doesn't matter. You shut up. Here's what happened to me. And lending an ear and listening and finding out your personality type is beneficial. And if you don't know that, go to MBTI or 16 personality types.com, I believe it is, and find out what that is, because it can show you're answering. This is not sorcery, crystal balls, or any of that stuff, fortune tellers. You're answering a series of questions based on how you feel, think, whatever the case may be. So, and it will tally it up for you and tell you what your personality type is. It's important to bring it up, because sometimes when you learn what someone else's personality type is, then you see, how do they handle conflict resolution? How do they handle stress? Are they misunderstood oftentimes? And you'll hear them say something and they'll mean something else, and people will take it as a shot, and it's not that. But to learn that personality type will help you understand them more, and it'll make it easier. So sometimes when we want it to be easier, we're not the one to help aid that. we don't want to help make it easier. I could, but I don't want to. And that's just ego, and we have to learn how to get rid of the ego. And being from the West, especially, you get indoctrinated with so much about possessiveness. It's okay to be possessive, but on the right things. Because we don't, we want to be so kind and so nice to one another, and we should be until we shouldn't. And in the case of men marrying more than one wife, we got to understand the minds of men. Part of understanding the mind of a man is understanding that you won't understand it all. Okay? And we want to. And we want to tell men sometimes how to be men. I don't understand. One of my clients said, well, I need to find out why they're this way. Why are the men this way? I'm like, somebody could draw you a picture and everything else, and that thing will look like a chemistry set, and you'll still go, but why though? I want to know why. And we're just not in them. We're not men, and men aren't women. So it has its limitations to understand why they feel and think the way that they do. And you could sit there and look at your husband and say, okay, I want you to stop thinking like a man. Stop it now. Just cut it out. That doesn't work. The same way they could tell us to stop thinking like a woman. I want you to think like a man. And we go, I don't know how to do that. But he's supposed to know, you're supposed to know the inner workings of his mind and desires and the goals that he has and the drive that he has. I got drive, I have ambition, but it's in a different way. But when we start digging too deep and trying to go too far with it, we need to stop and say, this is how Allah built this person to be this specific way, and quit trying to change that. Because if the brother says, I want to practice polygyny, and then we'll go, no, I don't want you to, or I'm out if you do, or whatever it is, whatever the case may be. I'm not trying to diminish anybody's marriage contract. However, what I will say is this, if the brother wants to practice polygyny and we go, no, or I'm out, I'm gone, I'm taking the kids, and all these threats, which oftentimes can be very empty and shouldn't be there anyway. But even if he doesn't do it because he just wants you to just get somewhere and quiet down or stop threatening him, that doesn't mean you've extracted it out of his head and he ceases to want to do it anymore. What happens is there's this resentment that can build over time. And then we go, I don't know why he's not close to me like he was before. But if the brother's saying, this is what I see for my life, and you saying, no, you don't get to have that, because I'm in control of your life, and I'm in control of what you get to do and think about and what your vision is. You don't have to always see his vision. You don't always have to agree with it, but you don't have the right to rob him of it. And we don't want to talk about these things because they're ugly to talk about. It's not fun to talk about, but I'm hurting. We so engulfed in our own, we're on a tirade, but I have to. We're so engulfed in our own pain that not for a split second do we think maybe our husbands are in pain, or they're afraid, or they're just crippled with fear that I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna take the kids. I don't want you no more. I'm not happy with you. I'm ungrateful, whatever the case may be. If a man is not sitting there in front of you saying, I'm afraid to fail, or I'm scared to marry again because you might leave me, or give me a threat, or say I was a bad man or abusive to you, because see, that happens too. I'm gonna say he's abusive because he wants to do polygyny, but I ain't gonna tell anybody else that, because then I'll look good when I leave. I'm telling you now, a man that enters in polygyny and everything is not set how he wants it to be, and everything's not smooth like he thought it would be, he was hopeful. But if he doesn't have any hope, he's afraid. And we need to be okay in hearing, look, I don't have it figured out yet. I'm still learning. I'm still new to this. And let us be okay with the fact that they're still learning, not well, you did it, you better figure it out. That's your problem, not mine. Because it's not affecting us directly. You don't think it is. It's affecting you directly when your husband is stressed out. And if he fall over and have a heart attack or whatever, that's the qadar of Allah if he does. He won't leave a moment before he's supposed to. Or you're just making it easy on him. But complain. No. I'm not trying to be anybody's mother. I'm not. I'm trying to be a wife. And part of being a wife is being a friend. And we better understand that, because we're not going to understand everything that goes to the mind of a man. And why should you want to? That's it. All right, y'all. Goodbye.
Here are 3 ways outstanding personal relationships can help you.
Make sure you guys are following us on our social medias at Outstanding Personal Relationships on YouTube and Facebook, and on IG at Outstanding Relationships, and also Clubhouse under our names.
And make sure you go to outstandingpersonalrelationships.com and sign up for our email list. And there you will get updates on our new book, Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored.
Absolutely. And last but not least, when it comes to coaching or counseling, if you want to work with us one-on-one or in group settings, make sure you're on that website and reach out to us, because we do have very limited spots and we usually have a wait list. So with that being said, GLC.
Make sure you are growing intentionally,
loving fearlessly,
and connecting on a higher level every single day. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Peace.